Do you want to turn your pain into purpose? Do you know that your suffering and sickness is a setup for bigger success? Do you want to learn from a breast cancer survivor how she turned her cancer into a story of hope and healing? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, tune in because today we have a very inspiring breast cancer survivor where she will share her story of hope and healing and how hypnotherapy help her and her clients overcome any difficulty. If this is your first time, allow me to welcome you to the Cancer Conversations with Coach Wanda. Every week I go live on LinkedIn. We have different episodes for every day. We have Monday motivation, we have Tuesday therapy, we have Wellness Wednesday, we have Truthful Thursday, Fearless Friday, Supportive Saturday, and today is Survivor Sunday. So if you want to partner with us on the podcast, message me or my team at Kaltan Social Media Marketing so we can talk about it. And of course, today's episode is sponsored by Kaltan Social Media Marketing and Bailiwick Academy. If you don't know me yet, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wandalin Tan Kalupig. I am the 2021 number one most influential Filipino on LinkedIn and 2023 top 15th LinkedIn expert in Dubai. So every week I go live on LinkedIn with different team, different guests from all over the world because our goal is to share life-saving insights from healthcare expert, coaches, and companies who are helping cancer patients, caregivers, and their families navigate the complex journey of cancer. If you missed the previous episodes, let me just give a recap of all of the previous episodes we had. And by the way, if you're joining us live or on replay, we are live on all social media platforms. We are live on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to have your own podcast someday, please message me or my team also because this is something that we're so passionate about putting your voice out there so you get seen and get heard and of course get the right clients for you. If you missed the previous episodes, well, the first episode I had is an interview with the first UAE national breast cancer surgeon, Dr. Huria Kazim, where she shared why every woman need to have mammogram at the age of 40 because this is when most cancers are detected and the earliest time that you get detected is the earliest way for you to get healed also. So breast cancer is the most common but most treatable cancer according to Dr. Huria Kazim. Also, on the second episode, I am very happy to learn from Dr. Romy Paredes. He's an integrative doctor based in Cebu in the Philippines. And one of the things he was able to do for the last 20 years is help patients and more cancer patients heal holistically. He actually has a program called How to Heal Cancer Holistically. You can go to wellnessland.org to know more how Dr. Romy is helping his clients to heal emotionally, physically, spiritually, and holistically. Now, if you want to watch the recording, either you go to my LinkedIn account, Facebook, or you can visit our YouTube podcast. And all of this is available on Linktree Coach Wanda. The next episode we had is an interview with my one of my staff Rose together with the husband. They're actually managing the complex journey of cancer very well because for the last 8 years they're able to survive, overcome with a positive attitude. On this episode, Rose shared more tips and tools so you can navigate the complex journey, in many aspects of life because every patient, if you give them the right care, the right support, of course, they will heal and they'll recover quickly. Go to Linky Coach Wanda to get access to the recording. Also, one of the episodes we had is how to heal cancer emotionally. On this very interesting episode with Coach Elder, she shared how every negative emotion, every sickness that we have is related to every negative event, negative emotion in our lives. So she shared tips and tools how you can process those negative emotions to avoid getting sick. And every week on LinkedIn, we have about 100 to 400 plus people who registered on this event. If you want to watch the recording of this episode, please go to LinkedIn Coach Wanda because you can find all the YouTube channel, the Facebook and the LinkedIn recordings there as well. Now, another episode, episode 5. This George, one of our guests is from Australia. George at 31 was diagnosed with cancer. Everything in his body got cancer except the bone marrow. At 39, he also had a brain injury, but now at 48, he was able to reverse every sickness and he's the happiest, healthiest version of himself. George spoke about having the right mindset, the right food, the right habits help him really, move his life 360 degrees. George is a very, very inspiring, passionate person. And we had over 354 people who registered for this event. Go to Linky Coach Wanda, to my LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube channels. So at least you can watch the recording of this very, very inspiring episode. Now, on episode 6, I was able to interview Liwa. He's based in Saudi, but he's one of the chief strategic officer for TajPay. TajPay is transforming cancer and healthcare payments in Jordan because, as you know, cancer costs about 10,000 to 200,000 annually. And not only cancer, TajPay is revolutionizing the payment where they give 0% interest. If you want to partner with Liwa for TajPay so they can expand in Jordan and other countries, please do message him on LinkedIn. And of course, watch the recording of our episode to know more how TajPay is breaking barriers and transforming healthcare payments. On episode 7, this is another very interesting episode. There's so many changes in technology, and I'm so happy and so blessed to learn from Dr. Kapoor himself, who have explained in the most simplest term what genome testing is, liquid biopsy, and the many tests that's available today so you can prevent, detect, and cure cancer based on precision diagnostic and precision testing. Dr. Kapoor also shared how we are getting sick now because we are surrounded by plastics. If you want to watch this episode again, go to Linkly Coach Wanda or go to my LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube channels. Now, on episode 9, we have a guest from the US. Janita Green is a fellow certified public accountant like myself, but Janita is a two-time breast cancer survivor. She shared how she overcame cancer holistically. She shared how it's not about just the treatment, not just the medicine, but it's about taking everything into account, healing the generational trauma, the inner child within, eating the right food, and many, many things. If you want to survive and thrive through any difficulty, please do watch this video podcast interview with Janita Green because we shared how to find light through the darkest days of cancer. Now, one of my favorite episodes also, episode 9, is an interview with Dr. Neil. Dr. Neil is a palliative care consultant, and he explained how palliative care is not for the dying, but it's about easing the pain and suffering. And it's not only for cancer, too. So he explained what's the importance for every person who's not feeling well and for every family member who needs that support to make sure that they get the palliative consultant because palliative consultant is not for the dying. It's not about getting addicted to drugs. It's not about end of life. It's about giving relief and comfort both to the patient and to the family. This is a very, very, I'll say, enlightening episode for me. Go to Linkly Coach Wanda to watch the recording of the episode. We have over 400 people who registered for this event, and we simultaneously broadcast it also on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, and you can watch it again on my social media channels. The last episode that we had is actually an episode with Doc Denki. Doc Denki is a doctor for the last 20 years working in the Philippines. She has seen many kinds of cancer. And here she explained why cancer is so common now. And she explained why it's called the big C. What are the primary reasons? What are also the ways for you to avoid it? Because Dr. Denki is one of those doctors who you will appreciate in terms of bringing dignity to the client. She said it's not about getting all the treatment, but it's about maintaining the dignity of the family and of course the patient. Please do watch the recording of this interview with Doc Tinky on Linktree Coach Wanda. And of course, the last episode that we also have is an interview with two Filipino experts in insurance who are based in Dubai. We spoke about how can you navigate cancer costs or any sickness to make sure that you're protected in terms of your finances, and you get ease from the burden of your finances. Getting sick is very cost. That's why insurance is one of the best investments for yourself. It is not an expense. We shared here and discussed what are the different types of insurance, why you need medical insurance, or why you need additional medical insurance in terms of lack of coverage. In terms of term insurance, what do you really need? Insurance is another complex topics, and we digested the very basic information on what insurance is about, what do you need to know, and what are the things that you need to make sure that you get the right insurance, renew it at the right time, and get the right help from the right people. And of course, I would add, because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we also partner with Advanced Care Oncology Center. It is based in Dubai in Al Farjan. Please book and make a call to get a free mammogram screening. Here in Dubai, mammogram screening ranges from 250 to about 1,000 dirhams or more. So if you get this free, I know this is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself this month. Also, we have a partnership with Prime Medical Center. If you don't want to travel as far as Al Farjan, there are many clinics of the Prime Medical Center, and as low as 250 or 300, you get this mammogram free. So just for 250 to 300. So please do visit and check this through all Prime Medical Center locations. And let me also invite you. I'm one of the brand ambassadors. Last year, I was recognized as Dubai Women of Substance. And one of the things that we're doing as an advocacy is about health and wellness. So this November 3 at the Expo 2020, we have something which is the largest women-only running marathon in the UAE. Please register at Premier Online to get your tickets, because there are different kinds of tickets depending on the length of the run that you want to take, from 3 kilometers to 10 kilometers. But I promise you, there's so much fun, and there's so many people that you will meet, and there's so many free gifts that you will get also when you join this event. And now, after the recap of the episode, let me introduce my very special guest for today, Survivor Sunday. So, our episode is called From Survivor to Healer, a cancer journey into hypnotherapy and healing. Yasmina Nagnoug is a breast cancer survivor who transformed her healing journey into a mission to help others. After overcoming cancer 6 years ago, Yasmina dove into the power of the subconscious mind and its profound impact on healing. As a certified clinical hypnotherapist and rapid transformational practitioner, she now empowers individuals to break free from limiting beliefs and unlock their potential for a life of limitless possibilities. Wow. Her focus is on mental health and cancer recovery, combining hypnosis and subconscious healing to support patients through both the prevention and healing phases. Yasmina believes that transforming one's relationship with themselves is key to improving all aspects of life. Wow. Without further ado, let me bring Yasmina on stage. Please.
Hello, good evening or good afternoon, wherever you are. And thank you so much, Wanda, for bringing me in your podcast. I feel very honored. Thank you.
It's an honor for us to have you, Yasmina. I know how your story is very inspiring. You're telling us the beginning of your journey. Maybe, Yasmina, can you share a bit of story about how cancer started? Just for us to have more information. I know you shared with me already, but I want the people to understand the very important story that you shared with me.
Yes, thank you. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer about 6 years ago in April 2018. it was a stage 1 cancer. It was not dramatic, but because 5 years before, in 2013, I already had a tumor, which was benign. But from that tumor, I had a lumpectomy and I had a few biopsy, etc. I was under regular checkups. It was the threat of cancer was already within me. So when I had cancer, I was kind of in shock. And what I want to say about my cancer journey was that somehow I was expecting to have cancer. Let me explain, because this may sound a bit shocking for people to expect to have cancer. So let me explain this. First of all, I told you 5 years ago I had a threat. And also I remember very well an episode in my life where I was under a lot of stress. And I called a friend of mine, my best friend, and I told her, I can't take this anymore. I'm going to end up with cancer. And 6 months after that, I felt I was very weak. I felt I was not myself. So I go to my oncologist, I do my regular checkups, and they tell me you have cancer. So yes, it was tough to hear this news.
I think, Yasmina, what I realized from this story, I know how the power of words work. Because, from childhood, my mother will always say, this is my youngest daughter. She will take us out of poverty. So that prophecy, I've studied so much on healing, power of words. There's even a study by in Japan how our words shape our lives, right? And I think what you importantly said today is how your words 6 months ago manifested into reality. And I think, because you at the back of your mind, you also had a cancer scare because of that benign tumor. So, Yasmin, that actually brings me to the next question. You understand now at this level how your words, how your expectations created your reality now. And it also became, now you're a hypnotherapist. So I wanted to understand, where were you before, before cancer? What was your career? And what happened after that?
Yes. So before cancer, I was a teacher for a long time, for over 20 years.
Wow.
And then because I was an expat and I was moving around a lot, and I had always been fascinated in philosophy and literature. So I had a pause in my teaching career where I did a doctorate degree, and I became an independent scholar. So I was writing articles, researching about philosophy and literature. So it has always been, I thought some people tell me you have changed career, but for me, I was always fascinated by human behavior. And why I became a hypnotherapist, why did I change career? Of course, as I said, I was fascinated by human behavior, but even more so after I had cancer, because like you said, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, and the mind responds to two things actually. That's the takeaway that your audience can take. It responds to the words you say, number one, and to the pictures you make in your head. So I had the picture of cancer because also my father had cancer, my grandfather had cancer. So I had these pictures in my surrounding, and I had this word cancer as a threat for me. And then I hit like rock bottom because I was, of course, sick. And also because I felt it like an identity crisis. Why is this happening to me? Still young, I was 40, almost 46, I was 45. And my children were young. And I thought, I can't go on like this. I can't, I need to survive. My kids are young. I'm an expat. I don't have family around. So, I started, questioning myself and really trying to be aware of who I was and how come I came to experience cancer, because I did genetic tests and they said it's not genetic, and I was young. So it was an opportunity. So cancer, you can see it as a curse, or an opportunity for change. So for me, I was positive. I'm still positive. So I thought, okay, this is my opportunity to change. So with this mindset in mind, I have to change. I can't go on like this. I was like on autopilot, constantly stressed. So I thought I couldn't breathe anymore. I was like always running. And then I thought, okay, now my health has taken a toll. So I need to really stop and reflect what's going on. And this is how I research the power of the subconscious mind, the connection between mind and body, and how we can rewire our mind. That's the positive thing about hypnotherapy. And also I want to say something else after, but this is how I became a hypnotherapist, because I realized in my story, the mind had played a trick on me somehow. So I needed to rewire my mind for it to be beneficial for my healing.
Okay, let's go to that later. That's kind of interesting topic. But you know what I love, Yasmina, what you said is that cancer is not a curse, but it's a chance for you to change. I mean, I met a lot of people. I mean, when you get sick, the question is like, why me, right? And I think they were in the same boat as yours, where you were questioning yourself why it happened, when even the genetic testing you did didn't say that you were gonna have it. And I think you mentioned about identity crisis also, that mindset shift. And I can understand, because I used to be always sick also and stressed, and so was my children. And I was like, why do we always are in clinic or hospital? So I was like, there has to be something here. And when I realized the mind and body connection, I started to study the subconscious mind. I stopped becoming stressed, all the time. And then I became happier and healthier too. And so was my children. That's why I think it's very important to talk about. Can you share about that story of, the constant stress and how you overcame that?
Yes.
And how your mind is tricking you. That's very interesting to me.
Yes, definitely. So one of the rules of the mind, which is very important, and I said it already, is the mind responds to the words you say and the pictures you have in your head. So self-talk is very important. How do you dialogue with yourself? So when I realized that I was like always in my head, I was the victim. It was not very empowering, because the victim falls sick, the victim, many unhappy events happens to a victim. So I had to change that identity from a victim to an empowered woman, And also I studied also the relationship between childhood trauma and relationships, because I was also struggling with a relationship. It's like I had two slaps on my face, the cancer and the relationship. So I was, okay, wake up. Now you have to do something. And as I said, I was a lifelong learner. So always asking myself questions, always researching. But now it was time to research about myself, to do a deep dive on myself. And what I realized is that I had unhealthy relationships with others because I had an unhealthy relationship with myself. And as the saying goes, a healthy mind in a healthy body. For me, what I want to say is that it's not only a healthy mind in a healthy body. It's a healthy relationship with yourself first. That leads to a healthy mind, and then that leads to a healthy body.
I like what you said. I mean, it sounds so simple yet very powerful. We all know that the healthy mind is a healthy body, but it's about the relationship you have with yourself. And I think, most of the time we are very nice to other people, but we're very hard on ourselves, right, Yasmina? I mean,
yes.
Sometimes I see myself, well, I'm very nice to people, but when it comes to me, I forget to set boundaries. That leads to burnout. Now, Yasmina, which actually, maybe you can tell us more. What are the personal experiences that shape you? I mean, it's such a great, way to see how you overcame cancer, how you became, an agent of change instead of looking at it as a curse. Now, can you tell us how else did cancer shape you as a person and you as a hypnotherapist helping others who were on the same problems, that you had before?
Yes, thank you. I want to start the question from the end, like the commonalities I see with my clients who are either cancer patients or cancer survivors, and from the friends I have. I'm part of many groups, and I meet a lot of women like me, like either cancer patients or cancer survivors, and I see a common pattern. I'm not sure if I'm 100% right or wrong, but if I'm 100% right, and there is a common pattern that I want to say is that often the cancer people, they are the givers, they are the caregivers, they are the people pleasers, they are the ones who are very sensitive, who have an empathic personality. So they tend to, like you said, give, but they get burnt out, they get exhausted, they get drained emotionally. They don't know how to express their emotions, they don't know how to recognize their needs first and then answer their needs. So, and often they're in the victimhood mentality. So that's what I have observed. There is a common thread, and so your question was my personal experience, how it shaped me to become a hypnotherapist. I realized when I started studying psychotherapy and hypnotherapy, I realized that I was suffering, first of all, I was suffering from childhood traumas that were unresolved. I had to deal with that. And also I had relationship issues, as I said, and I was a codependent. So I was suffering from codependency. Codependent people are the people pleasers, the one who abandons themselves, the one who answer people's needs. They know how to answer people's needs, but they don't know how to answer their own needs. So I was into that mindset, into that type of way of relating to other people. And when I started healing myself, empowering myself, changing myself, then I felt so transformed. I thought I cannot keep this gift to myself. Because at the beginning, to be honest with you, I was learning and studying for my own self, for my own sake. Yeah. I didn't know if I wanted it to become my job. But when I saw the transformation in me, it's when I said, no, this is my mission. I need to help other people. It's so sad that so many women, and now younger and younger women, are going through that. And I thought I was an educator, so I thought I'm still going to educate people while helping them heal. So that's how I became a hypnotherapist.
Wow, I love that. I can relate because I never intended to be a coach. I never intended to be a trainer. If people knew me 20 years ago, I'm the most quiet person there is. I didn't even had an idea I'm going to do a podcast. But I think, when you have something and discovered something, it's like, why am I keeping this? The world needs to know, right? And even your story of how, you are changing and empowering yourself and then empowering others. This is something that we really want to help people understand that, you can empower yourself. Maybe, Yasmin, you can share a bit of tips. Childhood trauma, I never thought, I never knew I had one because I thought my childhood was okay. But I think because my dad died when I was 9, I didn't get to understand and I didn't know how to process that. And I think as a childhood trauma, a lot of people think, oh, something wrong happened to you. But it's not only about that. Either something happened to you or there are some needs that you were a child that it was not met. Now, Yasmina, can you share a few tips if, let's say, for example, people realize that, wait, I do have something in my childhood that remains unresolved. How do they overcome that?
Okay. First, I want to emphasize it's not the event in itself in your story, what you said about you didn't know that you had a childhood trauma. So some people may think that they had a happy childhood, or like nothing like dramatic or really bad happened to them, like they were not abused or anything like that. So they think, okay, I don't have childhood trauma. So it's not the event per se that caused
Mm.
a trauma. It's the interpretation of the event.
Oh.
For example, if a woman has been raped, for example,
Mm.
actually, this is a real story, not my client, but a client of a client. She
Mm.
had two clients. She had one woman who came for rape, and she said, I cannot have relationships because of this traumatic event, and
Mm.
because all men are bad men, etc. And the other woman, she came and she said, I'm not gonna spoil my love life because of one man. So
True.
again,
Mm.
it's the mindset. So it's not
Yeah.
the event per se that has caused the trauma, it's the interpretation of it. And what is beautiful about hypnotherapy, and what is very, very important for people to understand, is as human beings, we operate up to 95% on subconscious programming.
True.
5%, imagine. So 5% is the conscious thing you are aware. So my job is to deal with this 95%. I'm also a coach, so I deal also with the 5%. But I say the most important thing is what lies beneath the iceberg. Okay, if you have a problem, let's say addiction, relationships, illness, autoimmune disease, cancer, whatever, you might think that because I'm stressed, because of my boss, because of my ex, because of this, because of the politics, because of the economic, that's what is, that's the visible part. But what you don't see and what you don't realize is what happened to you most most often in your childhood that led you to have this kind of problem in your life. And this, you're not aware of it unless you dialogue with your subconscious mind, unless you go deep in your healing journey to understand the limiting beliefs that are preventing you from achieving your goals, that are getting you stuck. And unless you do some rewiring of your mind, kind of, like a computer, you need to do an update. So it's the same thing with the mind, because the mind often is stuck in these childhood traumas, or if we don't call them traumas, is the interpretation we've made of these childhood events that have limited us. Whether they are very intense and they become traumatic, or they are mediumly intense, or even if it's not a question of intensity, it's the interpretation. So if you have interpreted, like, I don't know, someone making fun of you at school as a trauma, and that prevents you from becoming a public speaker, for example, it's a trauma. You don't have to convince someone that it's not a trauma. For you, it's limiting you. I don't know if I'm clear enough. It's not, the word trauma is it's very subjective. That's what I want to say. It's very subjective to the person.
I agree with you. I remember one client of mine. She was like, public speaking is something she's so afraid of. And I was like, why are you afraid to speak? She's like, because my uncle said since I was young that I'm not beautiful. And I was like, number one, beauty beauty is a perspective, an opinion of another. And number two, speaking is not about your beauty. It's about the value you bring to the table. And she was like, what? It's about what I know. It's like, yeah, it's not about you. And then, after breaking that rewiring of that belief that it's not about her beauty, but it's about what she's talking about, her videos went viral many times on TikTok, Facebook, and she was like, I did the same thing, Wanda. But I think what changed here is my belief that, I'm not scared anymore to show myself because it's not about me or my face, it's the message that I bring. So I think this is one of the powerful things. Now, yes, me and not everybody have the means to go for hypnotherapy, right? And I know we talk about this, simple events that happen in our lives that when we interpret it, it affects us in another way. What are the simple tools that, people can use? I mean, or how is hypnotherapy different compared to the other modalities of, helping yourself and empowering yourself?
Yeah, as mentioned, the power of hypnotherapy lies in dialoguing with your subconscious mind,
Hmm.
because we use hypnosis, and with hypnosis is the best tool we have so far to enter into dialogue with your subconscious mind because of the brain waves. So you are in a state that you can dialogue with your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind fades away. So that's when you really go deep into understanding your programming, your limiting beliefs, your the things that have made an impact in your life, a negative impact in your life, and making the connections. It's much easier. It's much faster. Hypnotherapy is a very fast modality of healing. And what was the other side of the question? The other part of the question?
How is hypnosis different? Because some people are scared of hypnosis because they're gonna put me to sleep or they're gonna cast a spell on me. And there are
Yeah,
many misconceptions about
yeah,
hypnosis, right?
true.
Maybe
It's true,
explain a
actually.
bit.
Yeah. Um, first off, you need to understand that hypnosis is a natural state.
Hmm.
All go under hypnosis without knowing, obviously, but we go under hypnosis throughout our days, like day to day. If you are very much absorbed in your Netflix movie, let's say,
Yeah.
you're under hypnosis somehow. If you drive from home to work every day, you take the same route, you're under hypnosis. If you're
Oh.
just daydreaming, you're under hypnosis. If you see your child gaming and you call him 10 times and he's not answering, he's under hypnosis.
Wow.
To be under hypnosis means like when you're, in a deep, it's a state which is similar to light sleep.
Oh.
Okay, so
Hmm.
that stage, or even when you go into sleep, you go first kind of under hypnosis and then deeper sleep. It's the same
Hmm.
brain wave you go through. So it's when the conscious mind fades away and you're more into your programming somehow, your subconscious programming. That's what hypnosis is, kind of, to make it simple.
I like that simplicity because a lot of people are even afraid to go hypnosis. But see, if you're watching Netflix and you're so involved with it, if as you rightly said, if children are doing games and they didn't even hear they're in hypnosis state. And I think I agree with you. 95% of the time, we're not conscious about what we're doing. Right? You don't think when you brush your teeth or when you do stuff because you're so wired to do it already, but
Yes.
hypnosis is about disrupting that. And I think it was this week I had an hypnosis session with one of the coaches I'm working with. And it was a very different experience, but I'm awake. I mean, I thought hypnosis was like I'll be under a spell, I'm gonna follow whatever she do. And it's not like that. I mean, she just told me to be calm, relax, and be at the state where I can be at peace with myself and visualize whatever she wants me to see in terms of the picture that she wants me to go back to. So it's very, very powerful. Now, Yasmin, can you give a few examples in terms of how hypnosis helps some of your clients?
I can think about two clients I had quite recently. One was still going through treatment, so she was still a cancer patient, but she was very much drained. She was suffering from insomnia. She was
Mm.
stressed. She had to go back to work, though she was working part-time. She was extreme fatigue. So
Mm.
she had difficulty to cope with her daily life, and she needed help. She was kind of in a burnout stage, and it was the second time for her, so she was also a bit depressed. So I'd helped her work through her emotions, her stress, the anxiety, and I helped her empower herself to feel more calm and to feel more in control of her life. And the other patient, she was already in remission, but she had this very, very strong belief that when she was going through cancer, that she was going to die. So even when she was cured, even when she was healthy, she continued to believe that she was going to die. So she was always, she was like paralyzed. She was in a state of paralysis. You know, even she was out of it, she was still paralyzed by that fear. And it was also very challenging for her daily life, because she had no energy. She was like preparing herself for her death. So she had no energy. She was also a bit depressed. So the first case, I have a 12-week program especially for cancer patients and survivors. So the first one, she changed so much that she did only 8 weeks, and she was a different. And she told me, I have nothing to work on. I want to stop the program. And we even did some relationship stuff with her. And she changed so much. She had registered for not a marathon, but like something like a challenge, a physical challenge. I forgot what it was. And she said she had registered to go after she finished her chemotherapy sessions, but she felt so much energy that she did it before she finished. And she said she was a teacher also, so she said that her in her job she felt better. She just changed so much. It was incredible. I couldn't believe even her way of speaking. She was at the beginning shy, very much scared, and in the end she was outspoken. She was a different person. And the second one, she realized that limiting belief about death had nothing to do with cancer. Actually, it was something she had since childhood because of her dad dying also. So it was in her subconscious mind since the age of 10 maybe. So when she realized that it had nothing to do with her or nothing to do with cancer, she thought, oh, I don't need that anymore. And also it shifted her perspective, and she changed so much. She was like she was telling me, like, my husband now thinks I'm a coach. She was empowering herself so much that it was so beautiful for me to see these two ladies and transform.
That's good to hear, Yasmina. I think, this cancer patients and cancer survivor can relate to you so much because you've been there, right? And I think because your journey is so inspiring, how you really reinvented yourself, right? From teaching to hypnotherapy, but it's all related in the end. And Yasmina, maybe you can, what is your best advice? Because I mean, I know your journey wasn't easy. The people you're working with, you have seen their suffering. What's your best advice to those people who are really finding it difficult, to cope up with cancer or to cope up with whatever challenge or sickness that they're having now?
I have a lot of advice, but the best advice I can give you is that there are two things. When I told you I had like a reality check, an identity crisis, I came across a religious saying that's in the Quran, but I'm sure it's probably in all the religious sayings that said, God cannot change your condition unless you change yourself. So this really hit me. Like, I needed to change myself. So the relationship with yourself, as I said at the beginning of the interview, is very important. heal yourself, change your relationship with yourself, so you have a healthy mind and then a healthy body, because it's all connected. Mind, soul, and body is all connected. So that's one important advice. And the second important advice I want to say, for especially people suffering physically from autoimmune disease or cancer, is that they feel they lost control. There's this loss of control. There's this grievance about their lost self as well, because it changes. It's very disruptive, cancer, from an identity perspective. Physically, you change. You don't have the energy. Your relationships change. Sometimes you have to stop your career. So it's very disruptive. It also changes your family setting with the children. It impacts many levels in your life.
Sure.
You feel you lose control of everything, that you're not in control. And as human beings, we want to be in control. So the message I want to say is that you have more control than you think you have. And you can control many things in your environment. Now we have a lot of research saying what about the links in the products we use, the food we eat, many things that you can change, first of all. And secondly, as a hypnotherapist, I will tell you that you can change your mindset. If you change your mindset, it changes everything, because our thoughts impacts our feelings influences our actions, and then our actions become our behavior. And in turn, the behavior you have, if you have the behavior of a victimhood, for example, of a victim, you will have thoughts as victims. So it's like a looping thought.
Yeah.
If you want to change this correlation between thought, feelings, action, behavior, it all starts with your thoughts. So think differently, especially think about yourself differently. And then you will see miracle happen.
Wow, I like that. Think differently and see miracles happening. Thank you for those nuggets of wisdom, Yamina. Now, see, we're already 33 minutes. Yasmina, if people want to work with you, can you share with them? I know you do have a 12-month, you said a 12-week program. And if, whether they are sick or not, how can they get in touch with you so they can change their mind, have a healthier relationship with themselves? Can you please share what's the best way to reach you?
You can reach me on my website, Therapy and Coaching with Jasmine. And maybe you can put the link in your podcast later on.
Definitely.
You can follow me on Instagram at Transforming with Jasmine, or you can follow me on Facebook. And I can also post my email.
Definitely. We will drop all the links so people can follow you on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and if you have a website also. Thank you again, Yasmina. It's such an honor to have you. Do you have any more last words before we end the podcast?
I'm very honored to be with you, Wanda. It was a wonderful discussion. And I want just to spread hope. And today I'm wearing on purpose pink and green, because it's Mental Health Awareness today, 10th of October, and we're in the Pink October month. So I want to just stress the importance of mental health.
Thank you, Yasmina.
But especially for cancer patients. Their mental health is so important.
Definitely. Why I love you on the podcast, because you are really such a shining light of inspiration. So thank you for sharing your journey, for sharing your story. I hope to see you again, yeah?
Thank you so much, Wanda. It was a pleasure to have this interview with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Yasmina.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow, that was such a very inspiring episode. Yasmina shared many nuggets of wisdom that you can take away from today. Remember, sickness or cancer is not a curse. Every sickness you have is a call for you to change. And she clearly mentioned how you have the ability to change your story and change your life with the right mindset. Again, thank you for watching the Cancer Conversations with Coach Wanda. If you want to partner with us in the podcast as a guest or as a sponsor, please message me or my team at Kaltan Social Media Marketing. Thank you for those who are watching us live or on replay. Please watch out for our upcoming episode because every week we go live here on LinkedIn to share life-saving insights so we can share support and strength to those families and cancer patients who are navigating the complex journey of cancer. Thank you again to my team. We are live on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So thank you for managing this. And if you want to get seen, get heard, and get clients on LinkedIn, please go to LinkedIn Coach Wanda, partner with us today. If you want to have your own podcast or if you want to partner with us, we would love to speak to you. Thank you, and God bless you.